I am currently planning a wedding with my incredible fiancé, Ryan. Ryan's mom, Kate, does not approve, to say the least. She's been pretty rude to me over the years, and I know she doesn't like me. Ryan has lowered contact a lot due to this, but I suck it up sometimes because she's his mom. We invited her for a brief visit, as it is the holiday season. We're currently in the midst of wedding planning and have wedding stuff all over the house. The latest addition is this gorgeous sculpture made of pink and white roses of Cinderella's carriage. The wedding has a slight princess theme, which Kate claims is cheesy. Ryan and I went out to run some errands and left Kate at home, as she said she would cook dinner. When I got home, the carriage was ruined, and Kate was acting weird. She said it didn't matter what happened because she knew we were going to think the worst of her, and she knew her son is never going to defend her. I lost it and began crying, while Ryan demanded to know what happened. Kate's boyfriend insisted it was an accident, but Kate said it didn't matter, and she'd pack her stuff and leave. At this point, I totally thought she did it on purpose and lost it. I screamed at her and said some hurtful things about her divorce and losing her son. Kate packed her stuff and went. Ryan then suggested we check out the security camera, so we did, and she was spinning and fell. She had been drinking a lot of wine. In the video, she immediately began crying and said we would never believe her. Who would believe that this was an accident after our history and that she just ruined her relationship with her son? Her boyfriend literally said, "Who cares about their stupid wedding? You're bleeding." When Ryan saw this, he called her and tried apologizing, leaving a voicemail. He asked me to do the same, as it was truly an accident. I said I wasn't ready to apologize, as she made it all about herself and didn't even try to tell me the truth. She was willing to ruin her relationship with her son instead of trying to be honest, and she didn't correct her boyfriend when he said, "Stupid wedding." Ryan thinks I need to apologize and says he's disappointed in me. A couple family members agree and say that Kate is the victim here. You are the idiot. Would you have believed her had she said it was an accident? Because her boyfriend said it was an accident and you didn't believe him. Your behavior was way out of line. It's a stupid wedding regarding the importance of your future mother-in-law's health versus a sculpture. Yeah, the stupid wedding comment isn't bad because he was concerned she was injured. Makes sense he didn't care about it when he was making sure she was okay. OP should absolutely apologize for what she said. Like, apologize in a really, really big way. Mother needs to learn to be a little less dramatic when crap happens while she's drinking. Disagree. Drinking excessively in someone's house and spinning in circles is not an accident. It's a dumb choice. She made a choice to drink to excess and then spin around. It wasn't intentional damage, but Kate's choices caused it. What if Kate got behind the wheel of her car and accidentally crashed into OP's house? It wasn't intentional, but she is at fault and needs to take responsibility. Kate acted like a victim when she's not. OP, you are not the idiot. She's the one who decided to drink that much. The accident that happened because of that decision is still her fault. Also, who starts spinning and dancing right next to a delicate wedding item? I don't truly believe this was totally an accident. I'm not sure if she meant it to go so far as to completely destroy it. But I'm sorry there was no way she wasn't being completely careless, intentionally. Once it happened, she probably sobered up quick and realized the mistake, which might be why she didn't even try to defend herself. This sounds like she planned it, destroying your wedding item in such a way that she can make you the bad guy for your reaction. People who have genuine accidents explain, apologize, and offer to replace the item. They don't send their flying monkeys to blame you. I'm a single mom of 4, a 27 male, a 21 male, an 18 male, and a teen female. Their dad passed away when the youngest was 1, and raising them alone has been very difficult. The 3 youngest still live with me, as they're all either in high school or college. When my oldest was 18, he had a child with his girlfriend. His girlfriend wanted to give her up for adoption, but my son convinced her not to do it and let him raise the child instead. I told him, I have enough kids already. I'm not raising another one because, really, Who's going to end up taking care of the child when he's going to college? I told him to let his girlfriend give up the baby or move out of my home because I was not going to help him at all. I have enough kids already. He chose to keep the baby and move out. I didn't hear from him for years after that, but he kept in touch with the rest of my children, and they told me he's very upset. A few days ago, my youngest son came in and wanted to talk to me. He said that my oldest is going through a hard time and needs a place to stay, and asked if he could invite him to stay with us for some time. I decided to let him stay with us, as he seemed out of options. They moved in with us 2 days ago, and my son and I have been talking and trying to fix things. However, I'm very bothered by his daughter's tween behavior. Yesterday, she was sitting in the living room and playing with her phone. I tried to start a conversation with her by asking her how old she was. I already know how old she is, obviously. I was just trying to talk to her. She didn't answer. I asked again. No answer. After the third time, my daughter took out the kid's AirPods and told her I was talking to her. I repeated my question and she rolled her eyes and said, I could have asked someone else because everyone here knows her age. I told her I was trying to talk to her, and she said she knew and she was trying not to. I told her this is no way to talk to your grandmother, and she rolled her eyes again. This was when I decided I'd had enough. I told her to go to her room and not to get out until she apologized. She decided not to apologize and missed dinner. When my son came home, he went to his room and then angrily came back and asked why his daughter was not given anything to eat. I told him the story, but he kept yelling at me, saying I had no right to punish his child like that. He kept calling me an idiot and other names. I tried to calm him down, but he wouldn't stop yelling and said they'll move out in the morning. I think he was overreacting, but all my children are on his side. So I wonder if I was the idiot in this situation. You are the idiot. This kid does not know you. She's in an uncomfortable situation, surrounded by strangers, and rather than meeting her where she is, you've decided to punish her for that. Also, withholding food should never be a punishment, and your son rightfully was upset by this. You don't have the right to punish a child that isn't yours without the consent and understanding from the parent. And I suspect you've just put another nail in the coffin for your relationship with your son. 100% this child will have some trauma response and is trying to protect herself. Her mother didn't want her. Her father's going through a rough enough time to have to move back in with you, and she's in an environment that she doesn't know with people who are strangers. There are more engaging questions to ask her other than how old are you? She's what, a tween? And you just met her 2 days ago? Her whole world just flipped upside down, and she's now living in her estranged grandmother's house. She knows why you haven't been around during her lifetime. Give her time. She's a child. Could she have been more polite? Probably. But again, she's a child and is going through a huge life-changing transition right now. One of you will have to be the adult in the relationship, and I hope you don't expect it to be her. I, 22 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 23, for just under 4 years. The other day he came to my house to hang out with me. My younger brother and my dad are both sick, so I wanted to make tomato soup for them. I guess it's relevant to mention that my boyfriend hates tomatoes, like can't stand them in any way, shape, or form. He'll pick them off of his burgers. He won't eat sandwiches with tomatoes in them, etc. So I was making the tomato soup, and I asked him to taste test it for me and see if it was missing anything. He winced and asked if anybody else could taste it. He said he'd be a biased source since he really doesn't like tomatoes. I told him to get over himself. My family was sick, and I needed him to pitch in. So he complained and moaned, but he tasted the soup before and after I added things, serving as my kitchen assistant. By the end of it, he looked like he wanted to puke, but I still felt like the soup was missing something. I don't know. So I asked him what he thought about it, and he told me it was great. He just didn't like it because of his own personal taste. Something about the way he said it kind of made me snap, and I told him to get over himself again and that he just needs to be upfront about whether it was good. He shrugged and went, "Yeah, it's really good." I said, "Okay, if it's so good, why don't you eat a bowl?" And he went, "Name, I really just don't like tomatoes. I swear the soup is still good. I just don't want to eat it." I was honestly really hurt by his refusing my cooking after he saw me work really hard on it. And I guess it showed on my face because he went, "Fine, I'll eat a bowl." As we ate, I asked him if he liked it, and he just went, "Yeah," with no enjoyment or emotion. And then after he ate it, he said he had to go home and left. Since then, I haven't really heard from him. We usually talk on the phone or at least text a lot, but he's been super dry or non-responsive. So I kind of feel like I messed up. Am I the idiot? Wow, you are the idiot. Taste your own darn cooking. Don't force people to eat things they dislike and expect them to act like they do. You were majorly controlling and abusive. I hope he clues into this behavior and doesn't return. You bullied the guy into taste testing, then consumed a bowl full of something he hates. What part of no means no? Don't you understand? Out of interest, why could you not taste test the soup while cooking it? You know he doesn't like tomatoes, and you emotionally blackmailed him into being your taste tester for no reason other than manipulating him into eating a whole bowl of something he doesn't like, and then demanding a heartfelt compliment. Hon, he's not talking to you because he just figured out he might be in an abusive relationship. This reads like a playbook on how to manipulate people and break them down. I love mushrooms, but my husband hates them. He goes out of his way to cook mushrooms on the side so that he can put them into things when I cook. We both don't like tomatoes, so we don't use tomatoes. This is very basic crap that a regular, loving partner would do. Why the heck would you go out of your way to make your boyfriend suffer? You're a terrible partner. You need to see a therapist. My teen female parents are going out of the country for a week to attend their best friend's wedding. Because of this, my brother, 1 year older, and I will stay home alone. My mom usually cooks all our meals, so since she'll be away, she's asked me to take over. For some background, my mom forced me to learn to cook when I was 11. When I asked why my brother didn't have to learn too, she said she offered to teach him, but he refused. I also refused, but she made me anyways. And though I was angry at the time, I am grateful I have this skill. When she asked me, I told her my brother and I should split the cooking in half for the week. My brother protested, saying he didn't know how to make anything, and my mother agreed with him. I told him it was his fault for not learning how, and that I would only do all the cooking if I could get paid for it. My mom said she wouldn't be doing that, since we're family and family does stuff for each other. And I said if that's the case, then I'll only be making meals for myself. My dad then got involved and told me that I was causing unnecessary issues. Look, I get it. If my brother was 5, but he's literally older than me, shouldn't he be taking care of me? My family doesn't seem to agree with me, so I'm wondering, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. What's your brother going to do when he moves out? Just make enough food for yourself. I'm dying laughing at the thought of someone who's a mid-teen and can't sort a meal for themselves. The dude should be in hospital care if they're actually that incapable of taking care of themselves. Good for you for standing your ground in this unfair situation. I feel there are 2 ways you could resolve this. Just cook for yourself. Your brother will figure out how to feed himself eventually. Or say you will handle all the cooking if he handles all the cleaning while your parents are gone. It's the better deal in my opinion. Or malicious compliance. Only cook stuff he dislikes. You are, after all, doing what you were told. I'm sorry, OP. Your mom probably wouldn't admit it, but it seems glaringly obvious that she insisted you learn how to cook because you're female and didn't force your brother because he's male. Also, I guess this is all legally okay, but personally, I wouldn't leave 2 mid-teens at home alone for an entire week to parent each other. Sounds like a terrible idea overall. I live with my husband of 6 years and our kids. I have my daughter, Lily, teen, and my husband has his children, Mia, female tween, and Sean, male pre-tween. Our kids are from our previous marriages. Lily's dad is a deadbeat, but Mia and Sean's mother is active in their lives. On to the story. For context, for the longest time, Mia and Sean have wanted a pet and begged my husband and me for a cat or a dog. They are total animal lovers, and they both want to be vets when they grow up. Unfortunately, getting a pet is not something we can do at this moment. My husband has talked about it a few times, and we may consider getting a small pet, such as a rat or a gerbil, in the future. For Christmas, my mother-in-law got Mia and Sean a sea monkeys kit each, and they were over the moon about it and excited, waiting for them to hatch. They opened these gifts on Christmas Eve because my husband's family celebrates it then. Unfortunately, on Christmas Day, while I was at work, the joys of shift work, my husband said Lily poured the contents of the plastic tanks into the toilet and flushed it. Mia and Sean were heartbroken and wouldn't stop crying. It turns out that it was a prank, and Lily kept the sea monkeys in another plastic tub in her room. She admitted that she recorded Mia and Sean's reactions and was going to post it on TikTok. I made her delete the video. I honestly cannot comprehend why she'd do something like that. This is so out of character for Lily, who's normally a very kind, outgoing girl. I asked her why she did it, but she just kept saying she thought it would be funny and didn't expect Mia and Sean to become so upset. She said they're only sea monkeys anyway, and Mia and Sean are oversensitive. I thought about it for a little while, and I decided on the consequences. Grounded for 2 months except for school extracurriculars, no smartphone or allowance for 1 month, and Lily will use my spare Nokia to call or text other family members or us as needed. She can use the family computer if she needs the internet for homework. Lily has to write a sincere apology to Mia and Sean. No video games until it's done. It might seem over the top, but this was a big deal in our household, and even after they got the sea monkeys back, Mia and Sean haven't been quite themselves. Lily obviously wasn't happy about the consequences and is doing a teenage sulk and saying I'm being unfair. She texted my dad and complained to him. My dad likes to take Lily out on shopping sprees and spoil her, and with her grounded, that won't be allowed. So he called me and asked what had happened. I explained everything, and he said I'm being too harsh on his grandbaby, and that what she did was only minor, and I was overreacting. I told him if he wanted to see Lily, he was welcome to come over, but no spoiling her with gifts like he usually does. He called me a Grinch for grounding my daughter on Christmas and not letting him treat her, then ended the call. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. What she did was not small. She faked cruelty to cause psychological damage to siblings younger than her because, checks notes, she thought it would be funny? On TikTok? You're sending a clear message to her that bullying will not be tolerated. I swear, TikTok is a plague. I'm assuming Lily thought it would be funny based on what she consumes on the app. Not the idiot, but maybe monitor her social media use a little more and choose one, not all 3, of those punishments. Just my 2 cents. Go get her therapy, but to be perfectly honest, when a kid that age lacks empathy, there really isn't much you can do. You can see it in her reaction. If she already decided her actions were reasonable, punishment won't do much outside of teaching her that actions have consequences. The fact that she thinks this is unreasonable says she lacks empathy and remorse, and you can't force her to feel either. Sociopathy is a spectrum, but this kid, despite popularity or whatever, has low empathy, and so does the grandfather. I'm sorry, this won't really get better, ever. Some people just don't give a crap about others.